What if Luffy was OP Part 1 Remake? Now, the devil fruits in my first part would remain the same, with some differences. Luffy will have the Gum Gum fruit, Akainu's fruit, all three of the Admiral fruits, so Kizaru, Kainu, and Aokiji, so Life, Magma, and Ice. Kaido's devil fruit, Marco's devil fruit, and maybe Ace's and Dofi's and Caddis, if that's what you guys like. Now, we start this off with Shanks and Luffy in the bar the day that Luffy gets his devil fruit, as him and Shanks would be messing around, having fun like they always do, until bandits would kick the door down, and Higuma the bear would walk in and ask for some sake. However, Makino ran out of sake because all the pirates drunk it dry. And so she would tell him, but the bandit asked what the pirates were drinking, and she explained that it was just that they drank it all. Or Shanks would say would apologize, saying sorry, but we drank this place dry. Here's his last bottle if you would like it. Now, just like the anime, Higuma the bear would smash the bottle, and it would all go over Shanks, and Luffy would stand there in disbelief. And then, just like the encounter in the anime where Higuma the bear tells him that he's a wanted man for 8 million berries and cuts the table, or Shanks would ask Makino if she has a rag so he could clean up the mess. Higuma the bear would explain that he's a wanted man and that if Shanks likes cleaning so much, he would pull out his sword and cut the counter, making a lot of plates and just dishes fall on the ground, as well as nearly hitting Shanks. At this, the bandits would walk out, and Luffy would sit there in disbelief. During this whole encounter, Luffy seen a devil fruit off in the corner. It was just plain white, and he would eat it during this whole encounter. And then finally, at the end of the skirmish, or little argument, I guess you would call it, Luffy would ask what was that about, and Shanks would explain that not everything's about fighting, and Luffy, not really understanding it, would be mad and call them lame and walk off. However, Shanks would try to grab his arm and tell him to wait a little bit. However, Luffy, not wanting it, would continue walking away. That's when Shanks and all of them realized that Luffy's arm stretched, and Shanks would ask Luffy if he ate the fruit in the chest, and Luffy would explain, would say yes, and it was it didn't taste good, it was disgusting. That's when Lucky Rouge would come in and ask if he, tell Luffy, he would ask him if he ate this devil fruit, and Luffy would say yes, and so Shanks would pick Luffy up by the legs and trying to make him throw up the fruit. However, it was already too late, as Luffy's legs would stretch. Now, time skip, 2 days. Now, during this time, Luffy has still not forgiven Shanks, even though they tried asking for his forgiveness, and he also learned the devil fruit, and that he has the possibility of unlocking other devil fruits. However, he doesn't know how yet. So, for now, he just has the Gum Gum fruit. And so, Luffy, one day in the bar, Higuma the bear and his bandits were drinking and talking bad about Shanks. Even though Luffy hasn't forgiven them, they're still his friends. Even though when no one else wanted to be his friends, they're still his friends. So, he would stand up for Shanks. However, quickly getting overpowered by them, Higuma the bear would take Luffy to the square town, or center of town, and threaten Mayor Woodslap would request Luffy to put him down, or Higuma the bear to put Luffy down, and that he would give him money and all that. However, Higuma the bear would say no. As a matter of fact, I think I'll sell him. He looks rare. At this, Makino and Woodslap would be very mad. However, they knew they cannot do something about it, as there are too many of them. That's when Shanks and his crew would walk out and wonder. So this is where everyone is. I was wondering why no one was there to greet me at the port. And that's when he would see Higuma the bear standing on top of Luffy, and he would say, Luffy, he would say to Luffy that I thought your punches were as strong as pistols. However, jokingly, Shanks would say, to Luffy, I thought your punches were as strong as pistols. And Luffy would tell him to shut up, and that's when Shanks would continue walking. However, one of the mountain bandits would point a gun at Shanks and tell him to quit moving. However, Shanks would ignore him and keep walking before the bandit said, "Stop moving or else I'll blow your head off." And at this point, Shanks would say, "Put your life on it," put your life on it. And the bandit would ask, "What the hell do you mean?" So Shanks would explain that guns aren't for threatening, they're for action. And at this, Lucky Rouge will appear right next to the bandit and shoot him in the head, not even being fazed by that he just murdered a man in front of a whole crowd of people, and continue eating his meat. At this would shock everyone, though, including the bandits. And that's when Shanks would tell the bandits that he doesn't care if they spit on him, sport drinks or food at him, but nobody messes with his friends. At this, him and Shanks' crew would stand behind him as Shanks would proclaim that they're pirates, and Hikima the Bear and the bandits would say these bastards fight dirty for what Lucky Rouge pulled. However, Shanks would say that he doesn't care if someone mocks him, spills drinks on him or food on him, or even spit on him. However, if you mess with my friends, that's when we have a problem. At this, the bandits or Big Beckman would tell Shanks that he'll handle this, and so Ben Beckman would beat the hell out of the bandits with just his gun, using his gun like a bat. And at this, Hikima the Bear would cower out, saying, "Hey, the kid attacked us first." However, Shanks would counter back, saying, "You're a wanted man." And so Hikima the Bear would take Luffy, or grab a smoke bomb, take Luffy out into the sea, and he would dump Luffy into the sea. However, the Lord of the Coast would pop out just as Luffy got thrown out into the sea and eat Hikima the Bear. And then, since Luffy can't swim, he's he's moving around trying to stay afloat. However, he can due to his already activity of his devil fruit powers. And because of this, the Sea King would set his sights on Luffy, looking for another female. At this, he would launch at Luffy. However, Shanks would come in and save him. And seeing this, Luffy would start crying, and so it'll pan out and show Shanks the Sea King took Shanks' arm, just like in the anime, and he would tell the Sea King to get lost, and that Shanks would thank Luffy for sticking up for him and the crew. So, and due to the other ways that Luffy will get his devil fruits is under immense anger, stress, or sadness. And so he would be angry and sad at himself because it was him that made Shanks lose his arm, and he wished he could heal it. At this, he would awaken Marco's devil fruit, and he'll try to heal Shanks' arm, because we do not know the full extent of, or at least I don't know the full extent of Marco's devil fruit, if he could regrow severed limbs, so he would stop the bleeding at best. And so this would shock Shanks, as he did not expect Luffy to have a second devil fruit power, because he always thought it was just a gum fruit. But then he would also think of Marco, as this was clearly a display of Marco's powers. So Shanks and his crew would thank Luffy and then go away. Time skip. 6 months. Now, during these 6 months, Garp and Luffy have trained with his devil fruits, as Shanks had told Garp what had happened and that Luffy ate a devil fruit. Garp would be pissed off at Shanks. However, he understood it was already too late. Oh, and by the way, I forgot. Sorry for not saying this, but Luffy and Shanks made that promise where Luffy would get a crew better than Shanks' and beat up his crew. I do apologize for that. So Shanks and Luffy and Garp would train with his devil fruits, and then during this time, or at the end of the week, as Luffy and Garp had just finished training, Garp would tell Luffy that starting tomorrow he's going to live with mountain bandits, and that he has a brother named Ace, and that he's going to be living with mountain bandits. Luffy, although hated mountain bandits, would agree, as he already knew it was futile to fight with Garp, as Garp was too strong. So he would just go along with it, would reluctantly go along with it, and say, okay, with a very annoyed, displeased face. So the next day, Garp would take Luffy to the Don's hideout and would keep banging on the door, and the Don, being a mountain bandit, would try to scare whoever. However, she quickly got scared, realizing it was Garp that was pounding on her door, and so she would just continuously say sorry, and she didn't know, and then once she realized it was a Garp, after she stopped saying sorry, she begged Garp to take Ace, as he was already 10 years old now, and just like in the anime, Luffy's 8 and Ace is 10, so 2 years away. And so Garp would say, oh, he's 10 already? That little bugger. Is he causing a lot of trouble? At this, the Don would say yes. However, Garp didn't really care, and he would actually request that the Don take care of Luffy too, and say, raise this one to us. This is my grandson. At this, Garp would tell Luffy to say hi, and he would say yo. And so, while the Don and Garp were talking, Luffy got distracted by a butterfly and would see, or would get distracted by a butterfly and chase it, and he would get spit on his face. He was a bit annoyed at first, but then he remembered what Shanks said, and so he wiped it off and just asked for an apology. This was when Ace would, sitting on a dead animal, would glare down at Luffy with so much hate that you would think he was trying to kill him. At this, seeing this, Luffy would glare back. However, Garp would walk up to Luffy and